Good morning. My name is Glenn Davenport. This is my second lesson from a subject entitled Untangled End Time Events. I asked several questions to tell you what this study is about. I'm going to list those questions again. Number one, will the rapture take place without any warning or formal notice? I want you to answer yes or no. I want you to be firm in your answer so that you know whether you are committed to the question or not. And then as time goes on in its proper place, then I'll give you the answer and you can see if your answer is the same as mine. Then you'll have something to compare. Number two, will the rapture take place before the 1-week covenant is made? Again, yes or no. Number three, what if the world stage is not set for a tribulation? Will that matter? Again, answer yes or no. Who are the two witnesses? Number five, how will the Antichrist take control? Number six, do you honestly believe the rapture will take place any moment, any minute, right now? Yes or no? How much time will lapse between the rapture and the making of the covenant? Or do you even know about the covenant? Will it be a day or two, a month or two, a year or two, or no telling how long? Question number 8. Does your belief concerning the rapture include the doctrine of the resurrection? Number 9. Does the rapture and resurrection include both the Old and New Testament saints? Question 10. How many resurrections will there be? 1, 2, 3, or more? And be specific with your answer because that's how you find out just what your commitment is and what your answer might eventually be. Number 11, what marks the beginning of the 7 years of tribulation? Question 12, will the Holy Spirit be taken out of the earth before the tribulation begins? Question number 13, will there be any souls saved during the tribulation time? Again, you need to answer yes or no and be specific with your answer. You don't have to tell me, just tell yourself. What do you really think about that? Question number 14. Can a soul come under conviction without the Holy Spirit warning him? So again, be specific, search your heart, and try to know for sure what you think about that. Question number 15. If no souls are saved during the tribulation, how should we account for the large number of souls that come out of tribulation who have not worshipped the beast? Question 16. If souls are saved during the tribulation time, when will they be raptured? And when will they be judged? Question 17. Can you find a word picture of the second coming of the Lord, the rapture, and the resurrection in the Scriptures? Where is it? Is it in Revelation or somewhere else in the Scriptures? We know there is a description, some sort of a description from 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. We know that there's something said about it in Acts chapter 1, but can you find any place where it happened? So this is still continuing in the introduction to this lesson. I will not get into answering those questions today, but in the foreword or just in the beginning, I would just like to say that the Apostle Peter addressed this subject and he implied that people could get tired of hearing it. He made this statement one time that in the end scoffers would come saying, where is the promise of his coming and the end of the age? He said that they would be saying things like, all things continue as they were from the beginning. So we may be reaching that point in history when people are wondering, when is he coming? Because we've been hearing it all of our lives that Jesus is coming soon. There was an occasion when I sat in a conference when I expressed my view of end time. In fact, I called the conference with the pastors and we wanted to discuss this. I asked them to bring their best answers to the question, when will the rapture take place? Because I was just beginning to think that I might be wrong in what I had believed previously or up until this time. But what got me going was one time I was trying to do some Greek translation in 1 Timothy. and reading about the rapture when we were told that we who remain will not prevent those who are asleep. And I looked for the word remain in the text, and I didn't find the word. I was looking for the word meno. That's a Greek word, meno, meaning abide or remain. But I didn't find that word. I challenged my Greek students to find that word and to define it. So I came to the answer that those who are alive and survive. To me, that was made a big difference. It was a turning point because just remaining sounds simple, but surviving sounds more involved. We don't just stand there and remain, but we contend and we survive. So those who survive then will be caught up together to meet the Lord in the air with those who are asleep. And then I would like to think about when the time comes, what time would it take place? I started asking questions myself first. I'm asking myself questions like I'm asking you questions, wondering about all of these things. So I sat in this conference that I mentioned to you and asked the preachers to tell me what they thought. And one of the preachers, he said his contention was that if he didn't believe that Jesus was coming soon, that he would lose his urgency to witness, to try to win people to the Lord. And I thought that's really not the reason for witnessing, to think that Jesus is coming soon. Witnessing has to do with the individual and his personal salvation. If we believe that a person is going to die or could die today, then we need to be witnessing to him because that is the urgency. I may die today. My neighbor may die today. Anybody around us may die today or tomorrow. We need to witness because of that urgency, because Jesus may not come for, who knows, maybe 10 years, maybe 20, maybe 100. We can't tell about that. So we need to witness to people because of what's going on in his life. So that's my contention on that. We just need to know the truth. Then I would like to mention a little bit more in the way of Untangled End Time Events. That's going to be my title all the way through. I expect there'll be about 20 lessons or so in this. A young seminary student came to a meeting one time. It was during break time. He was talking to me and he was excited about what he had learned in the seminary. He had heard one of his professors say that he could teach the pre-tribulation rapture, that he could teach midweek rapture, or he could teach post-tribulation rapture. And he said, because they are all in the Bible. The young student was excited about that because he thought the professor was very smart because he could teach all of these lessons. But I say a statement like of that nature genders nothing but confusion. It's all right on occasions to tell people there are different beliefs, but at some point we need to tell people what we believe to be the truth. That experience prompted me to become a student of end time events. So I asked myself, is the doctrine of the rapture and the resurrection that confusing, that none of us can tell, that we can't settle down on a certain belief? Is there any way to know the truth about this? Is the rapture or resurrection based upon men's belief or our feelings or upon the scriptures? Of course, it's based on the scriptures. So I still ask myself questions about the glorious end time doctrine. I will still draw conclusions concerning this subject. So I draw my conclusions based on what I study. And so this gives me the reasons to give the answers that I have. So this will be the end of my lesson for today. I thank you for listening. God bless you.